Yeah, I dated a girl up in Flint. She lived off of Dordt Highway and I think it's Richfield.
I wouldn't know where that is. I've never been to
I
Flint.
let, her, I let her use one of my vehicles. I had a Ranger.
Men are famous for that.
And,
Go ahead, honey, take my car.
No, it was winter time. We were staying in a house we were renting, and
Yo, what's up, Coach?
I had an F-150.
He's telling a story.
4x4. I came to work,
He's telling a
Over
story,
here.
Coach.
and when I drove home, she wanted donuts. So I told her I wasn't gonna go out and get donuts because up there in the wintertime, it's a snow belt over there. So they'll tell you the roads are closed. Do not go on the roads.
Right.
Well, she took my Ranger and she backed up off the grass around my truck because I told her to take my truck because it's already in full-wheel drive.
Right. Just get in, turn the key, and go.
She was going down Dordt Highway, right in front of the Delphi building right there. There was a cop pulled somebody over, but in the middle lane. Well, she was going like 45, 50 miles an hour on top of snow with the Ranger.
Right.
She slams the brakes on.
Did she spin?
No. The car veered over to the curb. She hit the curb. She left the foot off the brake. The fucking truck went straight to the back of the cop car.
Oh, rear ends a cop car.
Yep. But thank God, both cops were getting out of the car, and the camera showed that the doors come back in and knock both out.
Knock the cops out.
Knocked the cops out, and she grabbed him like a dog by the collar and by the belt buckle, and she dragged both of them to the sidewalk. And then she went back in the cop car and called
Oh my
to say, hey, we have
goodness.
two cops down. Needless to say, she lost her license.
Was she drinking?
No. They wrote her reckless driving, all kinds of.
Yeah, I would think
They were
so.
kind of like embarrassed.
I came up 75 one morning in that little Escort and black ice. So as I'm looking in front of me, I see all these cars that are just like a pattern all over the place. So I not hit the brakes, but slowly kind of touch them to realize, okay, now this is what's going on. I kept slowly on them brakes, just enough where I could just feel where I'm just starting to slide, but I could tell I'm slowing down. And all through these cars, Vince. But what was weird, it got to the end to the point where I was like sliding there, where my car's going sideways, and then I'm taking my foot off the brake, it's rolling this way, and then I'm braking, and the car is like turning. And I literally did that till the car came to a complete stop around a bunch of cars. While all these people that weren't even moving yet were looking at me out their windows. And it was like a Friday morning. And the way it ended was I weaved through these cars to the point where I actually came to a complete stop between two other cars. And these people were looking at me because I was ready to slide into one of them, you know? And right out in front of us was a huge semi, 90 degrees in the road. You know what I mean? Like he just went like that. And then everybody behind him. Well, oh my goodness. He drove off to the side and, kept going. But yeah. Yeah, you like that story, guys? Yup. So, Coach wants to know when we're filming. Tonight, how's that? Can't tell everybody, but 3 people. Hey, Rabbit. It's cold this morning here in Michigan, isn't it, buddy? An office building. It looks like an office building. Have you ever seen this place, Rabbit? You said this place looks like an office building.
Office building.
An office building.
What kind of office building looks like this?
I don't know what an office building looks like
Back in the
this.
60s, they would even look like this.
Right. That's what we're trying to figure out. When's this place built? Look at this place, Rabbit.
Hey, Lieutenant Huey, he might be right.
Yeah.
That's the Mexican.
Oh,
room.
yeah, this is the Mexican conference room right here. Yep. Yep. Oh, drop ceiling fluorescent lights? Really?
Yep, you want orange juice?
Okay.
Funny people call, you know.
Yeah, this is
Let me
the.
answer the phone and they fill out. There you go.
Hi, are you open? Yup. What's gonna happen next, guys? Art Vans. They got a special for you.
Yeah, man, they're being cool.
Oh, those crooks.
He died.
Did he? Well, yeah, he died. They bankrupted the kids, bankrupted the place.
Yep.
Took on an investor. That's how that new building came about.
What a building.
The one out in Canton, that huge showroom. You never seen that one? You ever been in one in Canton?
No.
It's gone now. It's called something else. But it's right in the main area there, on the corner. It's huge. Basically across from IKEA. Yeah. We're having chicken strips, coach, like the kids do back in the, you know.
Leon, the microwave go up good or no?
One guy did it.
Yeah, man.
Football player. You know, the mounting strip.
Yup.
He had on the mounting strip and he held it in one hand.
Yup.
And he already had the holes drilled, so he said he was freaking so tall. He was almost up to the top of the cabin and he put his hand up there and got the screw ready to go. And
Yeah, you're hanging that microwave on the studs in the wall.
only one step.
Right. One or two, right. That's what it is. That plate bolts right into it. Yeah, I hung a microwave for a woman I worked with.
He said if I didn't put that strip of wood there, he said that was beautiful. He said, man, it's like 20 minutes. He said he would use cardboard to make it. Cardboard
She had a modular home.
does it all the time.
So they hung their microwave, and I don't know who. I guess their stove was underneath it. They had like a piece of wood off the top of the stove, wedged like a leg with their microwave. And I said, what does that do? Holds the microwave. I'm like, no, it don't. And I explained to her that there's a plate on the back of the wall that you screw in the wall through the stud. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
That'll fall. That's not gonna hold. What she was actually more afraid of was modular home, that the cabinets were gonna get torn off the wall from the microwave. Because when you put that plate on the wall, it's like a hinge. The microwave flips up. That's how you maybe know it's level, because as you tighten it, you can draw it. Because it's the cabinet that is holding it, so the cabinet don't go shearing off. It's 32 degrees outside, folks. I don't want to hear no BS if I tell you there was snow and it ain't all over the ground either. Hey, Hanner, what's up? Yeah, your buddy, he's right here.
Did they?
He's right here. Hanner wants to talk to you.
What's he saying?
Hanner.
I don't see no.
Wait. There. Hey, you and Vince? Hey, Coach, what's up?
Yep.
See that? You cool. See? You cool. So I heard Pete didn't have cancer. He had a blockage in like his intestine or something.
He knew.
Urban, my buddy from the Highland. Yeah. Anything else you got going on, Hanner? He's right there. He makes it. Him and I. Nobody else can make it on time. Yep.
You find out where your sister's at? Over there in Lakes of the North?
I didn't find out where she's at.
Oh, there's that famous movie. Yep. Oh, here comes my chicken fingers. Check it out.
Is it?
Careful, very hot, okay?
Nice.
Right out the fryer.
Hell yeah. Look at that. Oh, look at that. French fries are nice. Golden. Perfect. Watch the news. Okay, Hanner. We got chicken, chicken fingers. And coleslaw. Creamy coleslaw.
This is our natural environment. The ordinance makes exceptions to temporary lights like Christmas lights, but those can only be up for 3 months of the year.
Is Whiskey still in love with Molly Golightly?
Midnight and 6 a.m.
And Big Juicy?
Do you really have to have the super giant bright white snowman? And if you really do, does it really have to be up for 4 weeks? Or, would 1 week be okay?
What's she talking about? 1 week.
Perfectly legal to be like Chevy Chase between the hours of 6 a.m. and midnight. The city hopes to think twice this hour.
Worst part about it is, they're probably gonna nobody up there to work.
Trying to think a little bit more in moderation than about the consequences of having some extra lights there.
And since this is a new ordinance, the city says they're taking more of an educational approach and do not expect to issue any citations this holiday season.
Looks like shaped like Michigan.
7 Action News.
Look at that. Look at that, guys. Woo. Look at that chicken finger. French fries.
The state agency says the plan had inaccurate unreliable results, and now Americans is filing a lawsuit saying the recall is unjustified, prejudicial, and retaliatory. Attorneys accuse the agency of a
So did you talk to that guy about the snowblower? Did you tell him about how his mechanic tried to rip you off?
I'm gonna stop there. They're delivering it to the house today, but I'm going home. I'm gonna stop. I got time today. Cause we'll close about 1:30, 2 o'clock.
for marijuana sales. Most dispensaries across Metro Detroit will have huge
Actually, Friday I'm gonna go. Because I'm gonna make sure everything's okay with it started before I did.
pick up marijuana the day before Thanksgiving.
He was kind of rude last time. He called me up yesterday, said the snowball was ready the day before. And it's like, this guy's got zero personality.
Michigan is now considered the second largest consumer slash business relations.
Here, come stand behind me. You'll see. You'll see. There you go. Yup. And now oh, look at $5 super chat. See, you brought me luck. Good morning, Reaper Man. Thanks. Cheers. Thank you, buddy.
And you know what? He's coming up like a hero.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
He's the one that started it. He's the one that signed the goddamn.
Vince and I are eating chicken.
He's trying to say,
Chicken strips so we can save Tom the turkey. Well,
yeah. Well, you know what? He didn't.
Reaper Man, let's do a panel this weekend.
And you know what?
Colon cancer.
Store, you know?
You could earn up to $575 for your participation. You need to provide a still sample, which can be done from the comfort and privacy of your own home. A colonoscopy will be done through your own insurance. Otherwise, there's no cost to participate. Advancing the science of screening for colon cancer. Enroll now in Let's All Screen. Let's screen your colon cancer. To help create a better future for all.
Looks like a fish. It's a fish. It's a fish. No, not yet. That's Thursday. I know you're joking around. Thanks, Hub. I'm game. Yeah.
Take a look. This is the global model, which means you won't see many on the roads here in the U.S. But the reimagined Ranger gives us a good idea of what could be on the way for the Motor City. For the first time, the Ranger will have the option of a 3-liter V6 turbo diesel engine. There's also an all-new touchscreen and updated.
They proved that the diesel engine don't work. That's why they're getting rid of it in the F-150.
Next year. It's a good looking truck.
No, nobody will buy it because it's, the cost of the motor
Expectations at auction.
is more
Was expected
than people want to pay.
between $2.5 and $3.5
Well-
million. Yeah, it's over $15 million to an anonymous buyer. The document
Because why would you want to, if you don't pull nothing with it,
theory of relativity. The spokesman
you really want to pay $10,000 more to have a diesel?
They said it was designed for that guy that owns the farm, so the diesel's always on the property or whatever because of his tractors and shit. That's how they were looking at it. So the farmer's going to buy the diesel pickup. You know? And that concept flopped. Probably could. I've done that before, Hannah. Put us on the big screen. Yup.
I'm removing myself from society in 4 days.
Yeah.
4 days.
I got to come down here Saturday.
For what? Hey Joe, let's bring all our vehicles over here and park in the
Yeah.
parking lot. He'd be like,
Vehicles are fine, trucks, no.
Yeah, and an old motorhome's cool sometimes too.
See, this morning I'm coming across Wyoming, or Michigan, this black lady, the way she pulled in sideways and turned the cab, that's how she was in the second line, and another guy followed suit. And, what are you doing? No wonder my chest hurts. No wonder my chest hurts, I got people like you.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm gonna, you know what? I think I got some rope. I'm gonna start that parking lot. We're gonna
just go get that company down the street. Have them, tell them out of here.
Oh, I hear signs out there, Roscoe.
Pay somebody to make you some metal spikes that you bury in the ground with a sensor that are armed in the middle of the night. That first trucker that pulls in, the rest of them will know.
That's like that bar on Allen and Outer Drive, Hops and Barley. There's a hardware store next to them. All day long, you park in the parking lot, you go to the bar, you get something, your car will be gone quicker than shit. They're there, just hooking and booking.
January 31st. Listening stars, pop stars Lenny Gomez is starting a new platform focused on mental health. The singer announced a new venture called Wondermind, the online platform to connect people with education.
How you doing, D? Good morning.
To end the stigma around mental illnesses.
Try this one, you know. Made it myself. It's
Oh,
a
okay.
cheese ball with green onions and ham and all kinds of yummy stuff in it.
Oh, yeah. Uh-oh, we got something to try, guys. Homemade cheese ball. Oh, she just said it right there. Well, very good. Yeah.
Is it a Ritz cracker?
It is a Ritz red meat cracker. Roasted vegetable cracker.
Yeah, it's very good.
try it. Let me know.
Very good. Yeah. Thank you.
Very good.
Yeah. And I'm not a big cheese ball person because her sister makes it. And I don't trust her sister.
You have own two little hands.
No. Yeah. Another one. Look at that. Nope. It's not easy being cheesy, right? Yeah, that's right, Andrew.
Huh?
Yeah, we don't have any to-go orders today. We're working overtime.
Are you? Really?
Oh.
I'm surprised Mexican ain't here. I thought for sure they'd be here. I was ready because I was like, mm-hmm. And actually, when I saw the lights in the parking lot, that's what I was thinking. Then I realized it was you.
Yeah.
So you put your motorcycle away from the rear then?
Yeah.
I know a friend of mine said, I don't mind, I'll ride my bike in the snow, but I will not ride it if it's icy outside. He said, I'll mind snow, ice, nope, not doing it.
Who's that?
The guy that used to work here, Don. He said, I'll ride it in the snow, because snow doesn't bother me, because the ice bothers me.
We had a guy in Flat Rock like that. He would ride in the snow and he put car hards on, all that shit.
Jesus. It's crazy.
Damn. So I gotta work that hard to get dressed to go out and ride it.
Yeah. Then when you get where you're going, where do you put all that stuff?
Shit, we drove to work and they were working on 75
Yeah.
and we went to the railroad tracks. We went to the railroad tracks and, right there on Allen and by West Road right there. And we rode the railroad tracks all the way into a rail yard to Freeland and back out.
The railroad track?
Yeah, we both had Enduros, so you know.
Oh. You ride them into Ford?
Yeah.
Okay.
Paul Shuffler's name.
Huh?
Paul Shuffler's name.
Oh, that one.
Millions of Americans are expected to take to the streets and the skies on Thanksgiving.
Put on a spot, too.
It's starting to feel like a holiday, another sign of normalcy returning, and still people preparing to see loved ones today. And this morning, we have team coverage on everything you need to know before you head to your destination today.
What'd you say you're at, Joe? You're
Thank
in
you,
Lapeer?
Dean. I'm happy I can bring it to you. Hope you enjoyed all the
In the
lights.
Lapeer, where's that place? There's a fish place out there. Used to be called whitefish.
Oh, it's gas prices are sitting at $3.37 per gallon.
Yeah.
7-year high for gas prices, guys.
These be a fish place. No, it's not on 24.
She enjoys that.
On the left side of the road? You going north?
That was very good.
You like it?
No,
Yes.
it's been a while since I've been out that way.
And texture, like,
Inexpensive to make,
right,
you know?
but texture-wise, it wasn't, it wasn't too firm. Perfect. Thank you, Hannah. Yeah, we thought they were gonna have the open-faced turkey dinner for breakfast, but it's not on the list. Right, Vince?
Yep.
Yep. Open-faced turkey dinner. Mashed potatoes, stuffing, corn. Yep. I'm just ribbing on them. Where was it? There is a place around here that does that during the day.
What?
The open face sandwiches. Everything open, you know.
Yeah.
Yep.
If I go to next street and have my sister's house and I go up and with people, they get mad. Even the kids.
If that cheese ball is what keeps you from having to cook that whole dinner, make that cheese ball, you know?
Damn straight.
Who said I was still hungry, Hanner? No one said we were still hungry. Order dessert.
Not today.
Not today. Order dessert. Oh, man. Now, where's whiskey and everybody at? You know, the West Coast folk. Yep.
It's still unclear how this is going to impact things. Right now, in the short term, doesn't look like it's had any impact, but Don warns it could have some long-term ramifications. That's still unclear. We're just going to have to wait and see. But for now, I'm Allie Hoxie reporting live.
We were energy efficient with Trump and energy independent. Energy independent.
Everything now is gonna have a kiosk. My thing is, gas is $3 a gallon. We have all these hybrids out now, all these electric cars out now. Why is it so much?
I'm going to tell you the best one I seen. They were interviewing this woman, and she's in charge of one of these electric plants, right here in Michigan. And it was a conservative newscast, people doing it. And they looked right at this woman and they said, "So where do you get your energy from to run this plant?" And she says, "The city of," names the city. And they immediately turn around and they stick the mic in the dude's face that works for the energy company. And so you're the energy company that supplies this city. Solely, what do you supply them? Coal? What? Coal? They turn right back around to the lady. Coal? She's standing there like. Right, they don't know. $1.46 a liter in Ontario. A liter. And there's 4 liters in a gallon.
Yeah, 4 liters is more than a gallon.
No. It's $1.46
Yeah,
a
but
liter.
4 liters is more than a gallon. But
How much is in the? She'll tell me. D, how much would be a gallon then?
It's 4 liters.
350? About 350? Was it 3.5 liters?
Something like that.
She'll tell me. Was he good? He's ready. So, if he doesn't run, he's going to tell you who to vote for, though. And if you don't, you're a fool.
I don't think Biden's going to make this go president anyway.
Do you know how many people just became senator and congressmen for running on the values of Trump and just being for the country? They would select certain things, you know what I'm saying, and run with it, and it get them elected. They got a truck driver in the Senate now, in Jersey.
Coming out, and they say we're short on truck drivers, but I just seen the thing come out February 7th. Take the CDL test now, it's gonna cost you over $4,000.
Jesus. Is that going to a school?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Well, our city's been saying that they might not be able to plow the road because they don't have no city workers.
That's why they pay that guy big overtime to drive
My
around.
vehicle gets stuck out in the street.
Yeah, she said 4 liters pretty much a gallon.
Right, 'cause you already, that's including your taxes.
Yep. All right, Hanner. We'll hook it up for you, buddy.
Well, I know you can't plow the street. You put your plow down and they give you a ticket.
Friday until Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Health experts are
I know they gave us tickets up from my place, when I call my driveway, I push it directly across the
Street? That's a
See
ticket.
the ditch? It's a ditch, but to make sure it's off, I got a ticket for it, and they say we got little berms in the road, but I make sure that.
When it comes to patient intake, Beaumont Health doesn't have a whole lot of wiggle room right now.
No, as soon as you cross the street, it's a ticket.
Hospitalizations are up.
Hospitalizations are up. Beaumont Hospital.
So with that being
I
said,
try to make sure when we push it
probably
off
a
the
good idea
side
to
of
get
the road,
tested
so it's
so you
not
don't
even on the side of the road.
spread anything to your family.
Remember, folks, the only reason people go to the hospital anymore is COVID, okay? There's no more heart attacks, all right? No one gets the flu, no one has a stomach virus. You break your arm, COVID. Telling you, right, Vince?
What?
Nate crashed his motorcycle for COVID. COVID caused the motorcycle crash.
No, he was following a semi.
He was following a semi?
That's what the lady told the cop.
So she didn't see him, she saw the semi.
No, she was late for going to work.
So she saw his semi and was all excited and crashed into him. Come on, man. Oh, man, that's a Joe Biden. $5.46 a gallon Canadian.
Been like that for a long time.
I know. Yeah, man. All right. I got it. I gave her my card to come back to bed.
Like sitting on.
I don't know, throw it in the bottom of her purse. Uh-oh. Somebody showed up with a broken finger. Goddamn COVID. 6 million gallons coming from where? It's probably stuck out in that harbor with the judge's Chinese food. Yup. Terrible. He's gonna probably need to retire now. That judge. Uh-oh. What do we got?
5:09 is the time now. Another round.
5:09 is the time now. Hanner, I'm not looking to buy any land.
Where at?
I don't know. He's asking me if I'm looking to buy land.
Where at?
Where at, Hanner? Where at? Vinny wants to know where. The old Biden's gonna release the oil for one day. Thinks he will fix it. Oh my God. Yeah, they're gonna release oil one day into the. Think it's gonna change everything.
Hey, you guys have a good holiday.
You too, Joe.
Who knows? This knows. Who knows? This knows. Who knows? This knows. Hanner, are you trolling Vinny? What a comment, Hanner. He's over $1 billion, guys, in real estate. Yeah, he knows who his daddy is.
Hopefully it's his daddy.
Hopefully it is his daddy.
Mom always said it was the milkman.
Yep. Vacuum salesman, $1,200.
Yeah.
Did you hear about that one?
Well, Marvin,
I can't believe he cleaned that shit up himself and no one turned him in.
I'm surprised because what's his name was the Dale was going that way, so I don't know. Mark seen it.
Ooh,
The union rep seen it, so I don't know if he's lying to you or not.
well, why would they let you work the next day? He just ain't got called up front yet?
You guys have good holidays and me and my kids.
Yeah.
I usually do it to my husband. Here, try this. Here, try this. He's like, what is it? I'm like, don't worry, just take a second. Tell me what it tastes like. After 20 years, he should be used to it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, it's time to go to work, folks. Oh, my toes are numb. Oh, no problem.
Yep. See you maybe Monday night or Sunday.
Yeah, cross your fingers. Hope we don't need to use these snow blowers. I bought another car.
We fixed ours, they ain't gonna smell.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I bought another carburetor too, just to have, 10 years from now. Oh my God, this one's bad.
See, you need help with another one for 6 months.
Well, that's what I'm hoping. It lasts 6 months. Yeah, man, got the snowblower running. All right.
I'm gonna tell Sam, don't bitch it it's too hard on gas.
It's.
Can you fix it?
We were joking around, him and I, about making like a crazy exhaust system for it.
Oh, the straight pipe?
Yeah, go out there and snowblower and make all kinds of noise.
I used to start it up at fucking 3 o'clock in the morning.
Mine's quiet as can be when I start it up. Let's go get some good parking. Let's see how this works, guys. It should. See that? Got my new holder. Making on. No, there ain't no ponds around here. Pennsylvania, they got a lot of ponds. Let's catch up with Vinny.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. I survived. I happened to be in a couple of airports yesterday traveling back from across the country. And it was just Tuesday, Ian, of the holiday week, and it was insane.
Yeah, I mean, it's already been really busy. The TSA puts out numbers of people that travel every day, and they've already broken a couple of sort of pandemic era records. So we're seeing
All newly
2 million
paved
people
here.
plus a day.
These roads
going
were
through airports,
shit
which is-
for over
It's not quite back to
almost
where it might
15
have
years
been
when I
in
moved here.
2019, but
They
it's
finally paved them.
It's pretty close, and so people. are
Yup,
noticing
see,
that
it's where it
pictures last
ends.
year of empty airports and empty planes. Like, that's just not what it's like anymore. It's busy. It's full of people. You might have to wait at TSA for a little bit.
I mean, we should say, as you just noted, it's not even back to pre-pandemic levels. It's just if you were anywhere trying to get anywhere on a plane last year, it's such a notable difference. It's just the crush of humanity again, and it takes some emotional calibrating if you haven't been around that many people in a long time. So the question Ian and I have, are airlines, airports, security screeners, are all these folks prepared for this moment?
That's the big question, really. I mean, because we saw over the summer and earlier in the fall, like some airlines had these real meltdowns where they got in a bad spot, usually because of some bad weather, and then they just weren't quite able to recover their operations, and so you saw sort of thousands of flights cancelled. So everyone is watching to see, will there be one of those things this week? The airlines say that we've brought on staff, we've brought on sort of financial incentives to make people do overtime, so we're going to be ready. TSA says they're ready too, but then when you talk to the labour unions, that represent a lot of workers in aviation, they're a little bit more skeptical and think that things might be a bit tight and there's still a potential for some problems.
Pilots on all my flights, Ian, came on the PA system to remind us about masks and asking passengers to treat one another with civility and respect. I mean, passengers acting out over the mask issue has made things tough for airport workers, right?
Yeah, that's been one of the kind of real trends that we've seen this year, not so much last year, but and the FAA has been trying to crack down on that and really reminding people, you know, you got to follow the rules or else you're going to get a pretty big fine. But it still seems to be a factor, and that's contributing to some of the staffing problems too. Like, people don't want to go to work and be abused.
Right. So, what can we do? I mean, as we're getting ready to go on trips to see family and friends, besides pack our masks and pack our patients?
I would book a parking spot because they're filling up at airports, and just make sure you're familiar with what you need to do to get through TSA. You can bring hand sanitizer, but not other liquids. Remember all those rules that you might have forgotten.
That's true. Washington Post transportation reporter Ian Duncan. Ian,
How do I do it? What do you mean?
Happy Travel Day.
Happy Thanksgiving. Thanks a lot.
Do it all the time. I do it all the time. This is what we do, me and Vinny, 6-7 days a week, folks.
This is NPR News.
You know, a normal job, you work 5-6 days a week. You know, they got this so easy for people. 16 days a month, 4 weeks in a month, work 4 days a week, 16 days. You got the other 14 days off or whatever. I'm telling you. So every one of those days is big money. Yup. That's all it's about. Yup. Look, this is what it's about right here, folks. Big money. Yup, Vinny got that one, and I'll get this one. Yup, look at that. He'll go in because he starts early. And me, I don't care. So, I'm good to go. So what's up, folks? What are we going to talk about for, whatever amount of time I used to do the overtime? It really bumped up my pension. Hell yeah! My pension's based on percentage of a max percentage of a percentage, so every week it's the same. Up to something like that. No, it's 24, yeah. 20% of my gross income, pre-taxed. Yep, it's all good. So what's up, people? What do y'all want to talk about? D-Life? How's D-Life for everybody? Huh? Your best 4 years? Yup. My plan is to make $1 million over the next, let's say, 7 to 10 years, income-wise. Yeah, man! Money, yeah! Yeah! Everybody here, say hi to the site chat. Say hi to Hanner, he's in the side chat looking for you. Me and Vinny, you know, breakfast. This snowman pulled up next to us, guys. Yup, snowman. Yeah, I told him you were looking for him, Hanner. Yeah. Good times, people. Good times. Yeah, there you go, Hanner. Snowman! Oh, man. You guys are Too much. Too much, folks. Yup, too much. He's still sitting in the car. Maybe he'll comment. He's crawling. Yup. He missed the Breakfast Club. He don't do it like we always do. Yup. He don't. It'd be funny if he did. But yeah, they can only go after. They can't go before, which is what makes it the funniest, guys. Let me tell you something. Yup. That's the way it goes, guys, you know? That's the way it goes. Yup. So you gotta realize, for this quality content, you know, that I offer, you know, for free, telling you right now, this quality content, I get up at 3:45 in the morning to bring you this. There he is, Snowman. Hey, Snowman. There he is, Hanner. Yup, there he is. He made it. Let me tell you something, Rich Lifer Burns. Yeah, man. Good morning, Snowman. Big Vinny and I, we brought it back to our childhood. Today we had chicken strips, Snowman. Yeah, man. He's sitting there. Yep. What a morning. We're all here to make that money, baby. I saw you eat. Wow, yeah, Hanner. 9 people, folks. 9 people. Wonder where we're going next. What's in those fingers? Chicken. There's chicken in them fingers. How about that? Chicken in them fingers. Finger licking good. Yeah, if it was KFC, chickens don't have fingers. That's right, D. They got wings. That's right. See, now that's another option. It's either fingers or wings. See that? Yup. Chicken wings. And the chicken wing came from Buffalo. And that's why it's called the Buffalo Wing. See, yeah, man's voice, it ain't back 100% yet. Yup. Gotta film wrestling tonight. Got a lot to do. Snowman's heading in. There he goes. There he goes. Yeah, wings, a whole different problem. The Detroit Red Wings. Why, you don't like that fence, Hanner? What's wrong with it? Behind that fence is the electric truck plant. What do y'all want to talk about? Can't see. Well, we can start, I don't know. I like this spot. Now that the parking lot's done, I've been parking over here. See, this used to be all handicap spots, and now we're limited to 4, which is good enough for me. I don't need one. So now that they took down the signs, we all get to park a lot closer. Oh, yeah, they put in a big guardrail. So, yeah, we could start parking on the pond. But the pond don't look as good as it used to. You see, when the water level's low over there, it's bad. It's not even good for ice skating. I'll show it to you, though, later. How about that, Hannah? They're talking about Thanksgiving?
In both food and feeling.
It should be about gathering. It should be about friends. And if we're going to be centering around
no,
food,
the birds
it
are...
should be-
Most of the birds are gone because it's wintertime now. They fly south for the winter. You didn't know that, Hannah?
Considered from NPR News.
All things considered this afternoon at 4 on 101.9 WDET. It's 5:29. You're listening to Morning Edition. The news is next from NPR and WDET.
All right, here comes the liberal news,
This is a test
guys.
of the emergency alert system. This is only a test.
It's just a test.
This has been a test of the emergency alert system. This concludes this test.
Well, there
It's
you go,
5:30.
folks.
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Louise Schiavone. President Biden this week ordered 50 million barrels of oil released from the nation's strategic reserve to bring down energy costs. But Claudio Gallimberto, an industry analyst with Rystad Energy in Houston, says in terms of supply, the move was not critically important.
We don't really have a supply problem right now. So we are not in the middle of a hurricane. We are not in the middle of a major supply outage. We just had very high oil prices. And SPR, we were not built with the idea of saving the American consumer a few dollars.
He says a much greater supply and price impact will come from OPEC's meeting next week. President Biden has invited Taiwan to next month's Summit for Democracy, where authoritarianism, corruption, and human rights will be in focus. NPR's John Ruwitz reports that China likely will be irked.
Taiwan appeared on a list of participants the State Department invited to the online gathering. It's unclear who will attend from the self-governed island, but China's ruling Communist Party is sure to object. It contends that Taiwan is part of China, and it's vowed to unite the island politically with the mainland, preferably peacefully, but by force if necessary.
NPR's John Ruwitz. Dow futures are lower in Europe. Investors are looking beyond concerns about a fourth COVID wave, with shares there and in the UK posting gains. This is NPR.
And I'm Pat Batchelor with news from WDET.
Hi, Hannah. I'll catch you later, buddy.
Organizers say moving the race downtown in 2023 could generate millions
Maybe
of
Friday
dollars in
Night Point
economic
Wrestling,
benefits for the city. WDET's Alex McLennan has more.
Grand Prix organizers say the idea to move the event downtown came after watching the first ever race on the streets of Nashville in August. Joseph Newgarden is an IndyCar Series driver from Nashville. He says he witnessed firsthand what holding a Grand Prix downtown can mean to a city.
I know what that impact was on our communities, and the energy and vibrance was really palpable, and I think that exact same thing will happen here for Detroit.
Officials say one way the Nashville event will influence the Detroit Grand Prix is that more than half the track around the Renaissance Center will be open for free public access. They say that will generate foot traffic for downtown businesses. I'm Alex McLennan, WDET News.
Governor Gretchen Whitmer wants members of her administration to work with lawmakers on a plan to spend billions of dollars in federal infrastructure aid. The directive appears to be an effort on the part of the Democratic governor to find an opening that could lead to a deal with the legislature's Republican leaders. Brad Williams of the Detroit Regional Chamber praised the directive. He says business leaders want to see that money put to work on roads, bridges, and other infrastructure.
We want to put money in quickly, but we want to put money in into projects that are going to make sense, that are going to foster economic growth, and are going to be of the most benefit to Michigan. So quickly but smartly.
But the governor's directive does not carry any force of law, and she cannot spend the money without the legislature's approval. Republicans are unlikely to work with her heading into an election year. Taking a look at traffic, no big problems at the moment. 14 Mile Road is closed between Halstead and Drake Roads as they continue working on water main repairs in that area. And Hayes Road northbound is closed between I-696 and Frasio for construction. Becoming mostly cloudy today, high of 48. Cloudy skies tonight with rain overnight. Temperatures around 40.
Guys.
Showers likely tomorrow, high of 47. Partly sunny and colder on Friday with a high of 34. Cloudy skies, 33 degrees now in Detroit.
47.
The Pistons can't take the heat. Oakland cooks rice. Sports in less than 10 minutes on WDET. It's 5:30.
DET.
Support for NPR comes from this station and from the Doris Duke Charitable Foundation, which aims to support the well-being of people and the planet for a more creative, equitable, and sustainable future. From the Pew Charitable Trusts, sharing the data behind American diversity on its new podcast season, Race and Research, available at pewtrust.org/NPR.
Oh, you're backhander.
And from the ECMC Foundation at ecmcfoundation.org.
This is Morning Edition from NPR News. I'm Rachel Martin.
And I'm Steve Inskeep. Good morning.
Good morning.
A federal jury says 3 giant pharmacy chains are responsible for the abuse of drugs that they sold. The jury ruled against CVS, Walgreens, and Walmart for their sales of opioids.
What?
NPR addiction correspondent Brian Mann has been covering this trial. Brian, good morning.
Good morning, Steve.
What makes this an important judgment?
Well, this is the first jury in the country to hold these pharmacy chains accountable in this way for the opioid crisis. Mark Lanier is one of the lead attorneys at the center of the case, representing communities near Cleveland, Ohio. He says his verdict made it clear CVS, Walgreens, and Walmart didn't do enough to keep their customers safe as more and more of these highly addictive opioid pills went out the door.
Through this trial, the jury was able to assess those national measures that have been put in place by these pharmaceutical chains and shout out from the rooftops, inadequate.
Inadequate, he says, because these pharmacy chains kept selling more and more pills for years after it was clear addiction rates and overdoses were surging. Now a separate legal process will determine how big the payout to these communities will be. And Steve, it's expected to top $1 billion, could go as high as $2 billion.
Wow, just for these communities outside of
That's
Cleveland,
right.
Ohio. Amazing. And of course, these are nationwide chains. How have the companies responded?
Walmart, CVS, and Walgreens all sent statements to NPR denying any wrongdoing. They say they dispense these opioid pills only after
the other
doctors
side of
write
that
prescriptions.
fence, Tanner.
They say if anyone's at fault here, it's government regulators. The companies say they will now appeal.
Crazy.
But this is clearly a tough moment, Steve, for these big name brand firms, some of the highest profile corporations in America, and this verdict ties them directly to an ongoing opioid crisis. Remember, earlier this month, the CDC reported more than 100,000 Americans died from drug overdoses in a 12-month period, a devastating new record.
Which raises a question, what does this one judgment mean for thousands of other lawsuits that might be similar?
This verdict is really seen as a validation of the legal argument that's being used in a lot of these opioid cases, but it's an argument that until now hadn't had much success. Government officials in these communities have long argued that drug companies and pharmacy chains created what's known as a public nuisance by selling all these pills recklessly and should be made to pay to clean up the mess. 2 state courts, one in California, another in Oklahoma, just this month rejected this very same argument. So communities, Steve, suing the drug industry over opioids really needed a legal win, and that's what they finally got yesterday from this federal jury in Ohio.
Useful to know that this verdict may not be the same in every case, and in fact it hasn't been the same in every case. Nevertheless, there is this particular judgment. There's money coming. What do communities intend to do with it?
Well, these court cases do come, as I mentioned, at a time when the epidemic is raging, more and more people dying, devastating numbers. So Jason Boyd is county administrator in Lake County near Cleveland, one of the communities that filed the suit.
Today's news is only going to accelerate our efforts to provide the best services we can to our family, our children, our foster parent associations, our criminal justice system.
And communities all over the U.S. say they need this kind of financial help to cope with the opioid crisis. So there's a lot at stake here, not just for people with addiction, Steve, but for parents and children and whole communities affected by the fallout from this epidemic. And then, of course, what we're seeing now for the drug industry, this verdict signals a lot of legal and financial peril ahead as all these opioid lawsuits move forward.
And he says foster parent associations, and you instantly have a vision of families devastated by this crisis. Brian, thanks so much.
Thank you, Steve.
That's NPR addiction correspondent Brian Mann.
The 2 largest ports in the U.S. are making progress clearing their cargo. As a result, the city council in Los Angeles has decided to hold off on charging fees for containers waiting to get picked up. But how did the ports get so big in the first place, and why are they so backed up? From the team at Planet Money, Erica Barris has the story.
For decades, the ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach moved the most amount of stuff for the lowest costs. Now, it's the most clogged.
We're in a triage situation.
Gene Soroka runs the Port of Los Angeles. He says the problems at the port aren't just about the port.
We can't control everything. We're only one of 12, 15, 20 participants in the supply chain. The notice here is much more pronounced because of the sheer size of this gateway.
And its sheer size, the port covers 43 miles of waterfront, is part of what made this port so attractive and made it grow. But it's also what's causing this blockage. The Port of Los Angeles operates in what's called a landlord model port. What that means is that while the land is publicly owned, the terminals where ships dock are leased to private companies. Those companies want to attract more cargo from more importers. That's how they make money. So to stay competitive, those companies spend their dollars on bigger, taller cranes at the terminals and on making the waterways deeper to accommodate heavier ships. Steve Flynn is a ports and maritime expert at Northeastern University.
It's deep enough for the biggest ships to come in, and therefore the ships can turn around very quickly.
The quicker those ships turned around, the quicker they could get more cargo. And as we started importing more from China, the ships full of those goods got bigger, loaded down with more stuff.
Its size really helped. There was an economy of scale of having essentially the super container ships, really mega ones. But then that created its own challenge of there was only a few ports that had the infrastructure that could handle ships of these size.
Because those big ships, they can't dock at just any port. Ports have to have the kind of infrastructure the leasers at the landlord model port of Los Angeles had invested in. So it meant shipping got more concentrated. But when consumer demand spiked, the system wasn't ready. It was built for predictable demand. This deluge of buying threw everything off. Other ports couldn't take those big ships, so they're just idling for weeks, waiting to unload. And even if other ports can dock them, there isn't a simple way to reroute all the other pieces of the supply chain, like the trucks that take things to the warehouses that were built for things arriving to Los Angeles. Steve says this all revealed the system's fragility.
And so things like thinking through what to do if you have a disruption, what's the plan, how are you going to coordinate that? None of the infrastructure for doing that is in place.
That's right.
So imagine it's like the global financial markets when they melted down in 2008. You had no central bankers, right? How would that work?
There is no central bank of the port's supply chain system. So now that there is a crisis, there's no one who can look at the whole system and find fixes for it. And even with this backlog, there aren't the same financial incentives that there were to grow and concentrate the system as there are to make it more fluid and less concentrated, because there's still the expectation that things will go back to normal, and normal worked for those companies for a long time. Erica Barris, NPR News.
Oh, guys, I don't know.
This afternoon on All Things Considered,
All
hear
Things
more of
Considered.
Erica's reporting about congestion at the Port of Los Angeles.
It's all jacked
Support
up
for
in
Planet
Los
Money
Angeles.
comes from Charles Schwab with a variety of financial planning options.
All right,
from
yeah,
online
man's heading into
tools to
work,
meeting with a
guys.
financial
Hope you
consultant.
enjoyed the liberal
Schwab
news.
works to make it easy to plan
Later,
for tomorrow
dudes.
today. More at schwab.com/plan.